Gemini family, what is going on? Welcome to the channel. I am Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive, and we are looking at your the universe. I love this for you. We're looking at your weekly energy. So welcome. If you are, the messages are always fluid, timeless, etc., as long as they resonate. But if you are watching this in real time, we have a new moon solar eclipse in Aries at the end of the week, the 20th. And then Mercury retrograde starts the 21st. Whoop, whoop. So anytime we have solar eclipse, it brings a lot of external change. This is our second new moon in Aries, which I kind of like because it gives us the opportunity to kind of reset the tone. The problem is it's square to Pluto as well as the vertex point. Vertex point just means things that are going to come to head, and Pluto is making the changes necessary. So there are going to be some things that happen, play out this week, etc., that feel difficult to overcome. We might be tested. We might really be kind of like pressured into what decision are we going to make? What path are we going to go down? Are we going to repeat old patterns, or are we going to really step and branch out into something that's a little bit more in alignment with us? Sorry, these are a little glary, but I'm doing my best. So this is transmuting the energy. Transmuting means kind of like diffusing, right? The things that are heavier, negative, harder to deal with, we need to find a way to balance ourselves, ground ourselves. What does that do? It just helps us like handle it in a way that we feel proud of. And it helps us make choices that are ultimately for the highest and best. If you can see, there's that eye on the top of the card. It reminds me of our third eye. We make decisions from that place of higher knowing. It's a bird's eye perspective, right? Being able to tap into that innate wisdom that we do all have. We just have to give ourselves credit for it and then actually use it, acknowledge it. Things are changing, right? So we're seeing movement with this card. And I feel like that's why the first energy, the first card is all about you finding a way to gain a little bit more balance and perspective for this week. Sacred sexuality. Whoop, whoop. Who are you connecting with? That's exciting. So, obviously that can be many things, whether we experience that in romantic partnership. But I also feel like it is the marriage of the yin and yang. If that's like something not on your mind, something not on the brain. It is, like I said, it's a lot about that dance of the yin and yang, finding our inner sensuality, our creativity, the way that we express those things to the world, right? And getting into nature and grounding through this process. So again, nature is that value of earth energy. Earth helps us ground. What does grounding do? It helps us balance. So we can handle people, places, and things, because the world is messy, life is messy. We're all doing a bunch of stuff throughout the day. We have relationships, people we interact with, etc. And it can be challenging to see things clearly, to know what steps to take. And sometimes those steps are taken for us. And that's how I feel with this movement. So change is happening to invite in something new, brand new. I love this, a new creation. That's also what we get with that energy is fertility, abundance, bringing something new into this world. And it might come in fast. Yeah, there we go, that Ace of Pentacles. The wheel is set in motion is what I hear with this. There's a lot of momentum. It's funny because all these cards, I think, have something circular on it, so that energy really comes into play where Again, being as balanced as possible, kind of making really rational decisions with how you approach this week, right? So when change is afoot, we have to take that step back and say, how do I really want to navigate this? What's happening here? What is the potential? And what is my game plan, my strategy? Something's happened with fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Feminine, she's kind of that embodiment of sensuality that I was talking about earlier. So what is your intuition telling you, Gemini? You're watching a situation happen, unfold. Some type of communication is coming in. Six of Pentacles. Yeah, so I mean, it's nice because as long as you're listening to your intuition about what steps you need to take, this is actually going to move very beautifully, very fluidly for you. It's all about remaining in tune with yourself, which, yeah, it's kind of rule of thumb. We all have to do that, etc. But I feel like it's going to make things not so choppy or feel so like disorienting, because on your two outside pillars, you have this element of grounding, right? Needing to navigate the BS, whatever gets thrown your way to kind of, bump you off course. Knowing what it is, okay, I need to take 15 minutes to myself to just like close my eyes, whatever, or step away from the situation. I need to not talk to that person for a few days or as long as I can get away with, especially if it's someone you work with or you have to see on a daily basis. Then we might need to have that separate 15, 30 minutes, half an hour, whatever. Yeah, that is it. I was like, I want my coffee. Anyway, okay. So a lot of it is about, just kind of knowing what you need in that moment, right? So Two of Wands. Okay, interesting. The Tower. Well, someone's going to have a really hard time with this decision is what's playing out for you. And I feel like you know that. And maybe that's why you just, you want to approach it in a smart way, is what I'm hearing. But you're also, I feel like for you, Gemini, and this is no shade, obviously it happens to all of us, but I feel like there's a struggle between your ego, what you actually want, and how you're handling the situation. I feel like this is actually going to throw this person, place, or thing like way off. They're not expecting it at all. I hear it as like they were trying to move forward in a certain way, but I feel like it probably didn't connect with what you wanted, or like maybe what you had envisioned for your own self. Taurus got that same card in the same spot. To me, I'm hearing it's like what's done is done, right? If you're kind of dealing with someone that like, maybe you, I feel like it took a minute for you to find a little bit more, level-headedness around this situation. I feel like it was a little bit triggering for you. Maybe it kind of threw you off a little bit. I feel like you saw it for what it was, but you were also struggling with that value, like I talked about, of how it affected you, like what it actually was doing to you underneath. Because this person, I don't know, they don't seem as like emotionally stable or as level-headed as you are. Maybe they were coming back for something. Son of Wands. It's someone who's just very you know, doesn't think things through, right? Son of Wands, that's Knight of Wands in the traditional deck. Someone who doesn't really, you know, maybe makes movements a little too quickly. Lots of like high-paced, it's like, I hear over here, it's like a lot of highs and lows, right? This like high-paced energy. They feel like they're doing something, making something happen, you know, blah, blah, blah. But then it kind of, when it falls apart, that's where they're like, like, what do I do? Maybe they came back to you when they were in this space. I don't know, because there is some type of connection or I just feel like you don't really trust them, and there's something about this that makes you not really want to. This is really heavy energy to end it. Yeah, I mean, there's something about this that just makes you not really want to deal. This is like very intense, guys. 7 of Swords, 10 of Swords, the Devil. So someone who's being sneaky, making the same mistakes over again. Obviously, the devil is Capricorn energy. It's like the things that we let kind of control, manipulate us, and we don't want to deal with that anymore, right? And maybe that's how you see this person. I do feel like there is this element of immaturity attached to it. So perhaps it's not the most direct offense. I just don't know if that's how you see it. I mean, I think there is an element of you being diplomatic. Maybe there's a lot of people involved. Maybe there's a lot of opinions about this situation, about this thing, you know. But you're willing to see it for... Okay, I gotta clarify this, guys, for you guys. Because it looks like your rationale is telling you to be level-headed, to recognize it was what it was. This person was being immature, like I said. Maybe they didn't think things through. They made hasty decisions. But something about this, whether this is someone like feeding into your... It shows that it does like a really quick turn south. Or south turn. I don't know. Yeah, turn south, I think. For some reason. And it's just like saturated. I don't know if this is like... It's something that like I feel like happens that really kind of brings this to an end, to a close. Maybe some light gets shed. If there's a lot of people involved, someone's not being on the up and up. Maybe this is a Capricorn person, someone you had talked to, someone who had their feelings hurt in a situation. But whatever this is, I don't know, it's a very interesting dynamic because part of it brings you this sense of movement and vigor and, you know, really kind of like diving into some creativity, passion, new beginnings, self-worth. Like everyone's gotten this card, and I swear I've been shuffling this deck. But again, there's that mirror, right? And we are in Aries season, so we're kind of defining who we are. And this new moon in Aries is going to give us an opportunity to reset the stage for that. How do we want to show up? How do we want to play out in real time in our life? That's actually what's going to bring us the abundance. The more authentic, we hear this all the time, the more authentic, the more in tune that you can be with yourself, the more things flow. There's sustenance, there's provision. I think there's been fear around what this is and what you want to get tangled up in. But there's also a piece of this where, is it true or not about this individual? I don't know. More to the story. I feel like some level of communication helps clarify as always, right? Communication is key to every relationship. There's an element of compassion that comes through, you know. And I feel like this is really evolution, you know, for the whole situation. You probably see it a little bit more of that bird's eye perspective, especially with this high priestess energy. This really does talk about you, Gemini, being able to tap into the duality of situations, seeing kind of beyond the veil, underneath the physical hubbub, etc., and using it as wisdom, as your patience, and even as your compassion. I think you're interested to see what is going to come out of all of this. You know, but perhaps, and I think this has come through in your past readings as well, perhaps trusting too much of someone who maybe was only telling you part of the story, orchestrating the story to be in their favor, etc. We know how that goes. All right, Gemini, I hope this helped. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm sending all the love and blessings to whatever you're navigating. Thank you so much for the love and support to the channel. Always big thumbs up. If it resonated, drop comments below. I would love to build and grow the community. Thanks for tuning in. Lots of love and blessings.